Wahine, my Gib Sea 402, my home, my life laboratory, my studio, and my office, has survived the slow-moving Typhoon Kahnun. She floats resilient, a testament to her seaworthiness. I know Wahine is still floating because of the images that my friend Mitsu has sent me. But now I must assess what damage and repairs need to be made before I can move on. I feared for her safety in Typhoon Kahnun. It was the first time I feared my boat may sink, as we had moved Wahine from the dock to the middle of Buren Bay, an untested mooring anchor for a yacht. And particularly as the typhoon changed directions and Wahine went to the eye and the winds came from the north, I knew at that point she was vulnerable. But she survived. But now as I return to her, there is also a subtle yet profound sadness that washes over my soul. And it's about my mother. She's no longer there as the compelling image for me to cross an ocean to make a mother proud. But my mother's presence feels palpable as I prepare Wahine for the next leg of my adventure. And I can't help but wonder what she would say if she were here with me today. But yet she is saying something to me. For at my mother's memorial service, I heard a story that she told my nephew I'd never heard before, about understanding the choice that waves have to make. And in her poetic style, she explained how when a wave comes into the shore, the wave has a choice to make. Does it join forces with the next wave as it recedes to push even further into land and onto shore? Or does it undermine the incoming wave, creating an undercurrent, restraining its forward motion and pulling it back to sea? And my mother said to my nephew, be like the first wave. Join forces with others to create momentum for good, push further and further into new territory. As I plowed through the gentle waves out to Wahine, I pondered these words. I guess I have my mother in me because I want to keep moving forward. But sometimes we have to join a second wave, an unexpected wave, to push further and further forward. I've come to realize that while I enjoy sailing, with this bigger boat, sailing has been a chore. It's just jolly hard work at times. Sometimes I long for the leisure that I spent many hours sailing on Lake Yamanakako in the shadow of Mount Fuji, or in the nice pristine waters of the island of Corfu, where we used to holiday when we lived in England. But yet, over these 4 years of living on board Wahine and these 2 years of sailing around the coastline of Japan, I've realized that more than sailing, I have come to love being on the water, living on the water, experiencing the waves, the rock and roll that gently puts me to sleep, or that dipping of the bow into incoming waves, letting the wave wash over it. I've come to enjoy the movement and the rhythm and even the inconvenience of camping on the water. And so, having evacuated Amami Island 2 weeks previously, I make my way back to be reconnected with Wahine. I chose to arrive by ferry rather than airplane and sail from Kagoshima past Sakurajima, which was the starting point for my epic 3,000-kilometer bike ride. On board, I make new friends, young doctors also returning to their jobs as residents at a hospital on the same island.
Well, I'm back with Wahine after evacuating the island 2 weeks ago. She's floating right there, and there's Kora just behind.
I go back not knowing what to expect, but thankful that my boat is floating.
Now climbing on board. So all of this stood the test, covering everything up. That was fine. Of course, of critical importance to me is what down below looks like. No water above the floorboards. I'm gonna check the bilge. Bilge is dry. 13.5. That's not bad with the solar power laced up. Looking good, Wahine. Well done. I'm concerned about my solar panels because I wanted to start charging my batteries as soon as possible because I laced all my solar panels up. Real spider web to keep down, and that worked. And I was delighted to come, and I have 13.5 volts in my batteries. Okay, so from the Typhoon, the Starlink antenna is now tilted. That's the down rod. It should be down there. Okay, Mitsu and I going out to Wahine. Mitsu wanted the row, so I let him. He's younger than me. And we're going to move Wahine back to Yuan. Okay, just left Buren Bay, pulling the tender. Mitsu is helping me dock. It's low tide, so he's helping me dock before he goes to work. And take Wahine back to Yuan, where I'll do a cleanup, a mold, oil change, organize the boat using the dock side. The dock side, not the dark side. Hi, Lowell Shepherd here at Pacific Soul Line, back on board Wahine after the storm. It was scary, but I'm happy to report that she's floating. I'm back at dock, and now I'm assessing all the damage. There's been some damage, but nothing so far that should cost a lot of money. So that's good news.
So after assessing the damage, making gentle repairs, and bidding farewell to my friend Mitsu, who helps me raise one of the anchors that has been deeply embedded in the sea, using his air tanks and airbags, I then set sail solo for the first time in many months.
I've left Yuan Dock this morning in Ukan and going about 21 nautical miles, just shy of 40 kilometers, to Konya, to the southern part of the island. There's a Umi no Eki there that's free. I've been there once before.
Rounding the southwestern tip of Amami Island, and first going to Konya, where there's some boat projects waiting for me, and then to explore places beyond. And one place that I've heard about from others is a secret beach, only accessible by boat, that those who have been there call it the last paradise. So, Mother, I know you're with me. I have much to learn from your words. I want to join the second wave. And I want to go not just to the last paradise beach, but to many more places to explore. With my trusted companion, home and studio, Wahine. I want to be like the wave that joins forces with another wave. Life is a never-ending adventure.
Good morning. It's August 31st Japan time, August 30th Canada time. I've just finished watching the celebration of life service for my mother. I was unable to attend just on the short notice, and given logistics and typhoons and cost of airfares this time of year, but we were able to join the live stream. Big thank you to my sister and brother and Tiffany particularly for making all that happen. So that's it for me. Another chapter starting. Bye, Mom. Hi, Mom. Love you.
As with my mother's words propelling me forward, I continue to explore the horizons of the sea and of my soul.